Hi, everyone. Welcome to One Nation. I'm Brian Kilmeade. Thanks for dating early or dating late. What a lineup we have for you tonight. Whistleblower Tara Rodas is going to be talking about an immigration problem where kids have gone missing. She tried to blow the whistle. She lost her job. Charlie Kirk did the impossible. He delivered young people on college campuses to the Trump campaign. And Hulk Hogan, one of the many athletes and entertainers who stepped forward and suddenly decided that Trump is their guy. Where do they go from here? But we begin this week with one story that overwhelmed all others in my view, and that is immigration. In the courtroom we go. Illegal migrant Jose Ibarra, convicted of murder and the gruesome death of 22-year-old Laken Riley. It was a swift decision in a case that encapsulated, in my view, the national debate over immigration in this single one incident. You got a major component that helped President Trump get elected because of it, remember? Let's break down the timeline of this guy, the Venezuelan gangbanger, Ibarra, breached our border and lived off New York City free taxpayers, free migrant services before he hopped on a free flight to Georgia courtesy of New York City taxpayers. He had one thing on his mind, to rape and kill an innocent young woman, and he did just that. What struck me most was the stone-cold emotionless stare on Ibarra's face throughout the entire process, while he heard cops recount Laken's final moments during her 18-minute struggle for her life. He sat there. Medical experts assess his grisly crime scene. He sits there blankly. And the heartbreaking witness statements, emotionless. The Venezuelan migrant just sat there, leading me to conclude this guy is soulless, like so many others. A deafening reminder of President Trump's warning on the campaign trail.
And it's only getting worse. It's just incredible. Many of them, as you know, are murderers, drug dealers, people from jails. They're letting their people out of jails and bringing them right into our country. We're like a dumping ground.
Yeah, and they said he was exaggerating. This is not the first example of smugness. Remember the Venezuelan migrant who brazenly flipped off photographers while, as you could see, walking from his arraignment after beating down 2 cops. Yeah, he got out. What about the migrant smiling this week in front of the cameras for allegedly, this is after allegedly robbing a Manhattan prosecutor and got caught performing a lewd act? You think he regrets anything? Look at the smile on his face. Or this Honduran national who is grinning from ear to ear in his latest mugshot after allegedly raping a woman in Virginia. Any regrets? These evil gangsters are criminals. They are clear examples of the Biden-Harris administration's failures. You would think after the election drubbing and all the crimes that we have seen, Dems would join in a nationwide crackdown. But instead, they are looking to resist, not to combine to get rid of these animals, but to fight Trump for trying to deport them.
Would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. I think that the key here is that, every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states.
We have been a pro-immigrant city for a number of years. We know that there is a target on our back from this president-elect, and what we are doing here is we are hardening our defenses. We are codifying our good policies on protecting immigrants.
Being undocumented is a problem, but our solution, instead of turning the military on our own people, is to document them, to document the undocumented.
You believe this idiocy? The Massachusetts governor, they want to not worry about those small things. People do certain things. And then you have AOC. Let's just make them all legal. No one wants that. Rest assured, Americans, these delusional blue staters have an opponent. Here he is.
Those people who say they're going to stop us from what they're doing, they will not. I'm going to do this job. Men and women of ICE are going to do this job. You're not going to stop us. But let me give you a word of advice. If you impede us, there's going to be consequences. You cannot help us, but also read Title 8, United States Code 1324 III. It is a felony to harbor and conceal, knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien. So read that statute and don't cross that line.
You got that, big city mayors? But perhaps the most horrific result of their horrible immigration policy, losing track of more than 320,000 migrant children. A key piece of information Democrats refuse to accept.
Today's hearing will be one final attempt by the majority to use all their same false talking points, that the Biden administration purposefully created a border crisis and lost in quotes, lost tens of thousands of children, all of which we know is wrong by the facts. Let's just be clear, these children are not lost. While HHS conducts 3 follow-up calls to ensure that everything is going well between a sponsor and a child, the agency has no ability to force their way into the home. If no one answers these 3 calls, then HHS is no longer in contact with the child. Now, that does not mean that the child is, quote, lost.
She is delusional. Sadly, my next guest is not going to make you feel any better about the fate of these children or about her statements. When she spoke out about what she witnesses on the ground, it cost her her job eventually at the Department of Health and Human Services. She thought she was going to entertain kids at the border as they waited for their relatives to show up. In the end, it was anything but that. Joining us now, former HHS employee Tara Rodas. Tara, great to see you. What do you think about with the statement from that last lawmaker? Was she accurate?
Brian, thank you so much for having me on today. It's a real honor to be here with you. And no, sadly, the Congresswoman is incorrect. And we know, based on just the reporting of the New York Times, which, you know, I don't think anybody would agree or disagree, rather, with the facts of the New York Times, but they revealed that 85,000 children were not able to be in contact with. So I'm not sure what they're thinking about. And then recently, the Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General released a report that revealed that 320,000 children, they're not able to know their whereabouts. So this is totally unacceptable. This is an absolute failure of this administration. And they should have done something sooner, like back in 2021 when our team at the Pomona Fairplex revealed that children were being trafficked.
So, Tara, what did you see? You said, I thought I'd go down there and help these kids with puzzles until their relatives showed up. But what were you seeing?
Yeah, so Brian, you know, the government made an all-call. They knew they had a crisis at the border in 2021, and me and a lot of other federal employees, we raised our hand and said, hey, send me, I will go. They needed Spanish speakers, and I'm a Spanish speaker, and I did. I thought I was going to be doing puzzles and playing games with the kids. And what we found is that the children were telling us that they did not know who they were going to, or worse, that they were actually lured here, and that they were told, hey, if you come to the United States, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm going to pay your journey, but you've got to stay with me, and you have to work off your debt until your debt is paid. And of course, the children are never able to get out of debt bondage. So they were lured by being told, you're only making $2.50 a day, but if you come here, we're going to pay you $6 an hour. These children believed they were going to be Elon Musk rich, and so did their families, and their families let them go. And that's terrible, because this is a family separation program, and it's appalling.
You told them, hey, these are not their parents, these are not their relatives, and they basically told you to hit the road. I want you to hear another story that I think is important to know. This is a trafficking expert, Alicia Hopper, and this is what the story that she wanted to relay. It's how real this terror is. Watch.
A young girl who arrived at the border in the custody of individuals claiming to be her family was bruised, disoriented, and in pain. Medical examinations revealed that she had been raped, yet she was sent back to her abusers because no verification was done to confirm her guardianship. This is not an isolated case, but a glaring failure of the system, leaving children in the hands of those who exploit them.
How do you explain the disconnect between the reality that you spoke about, she's talking about, and Democratic lawmakers who says basically there is no problem, we're calling them at their house, and if there's 3 rings and they don't pick up, we send someone after them? How do you explain that disconnect?
They've done incredible things to hide the story. As a matter of fact, still today, HHS is stonewalling the data. And we just have to ask, why is that? Why is HHS holding on to data that would lead to the rescue of children and the prosecution of traffickers who are harming the children? Why is that? It's because they know the truth is that children have been handed over to criminals, to traffickers and to members of transnational criminal organizations, to include MS-13, 18th Street Gang, and other unsavory characters. That's what the data will reveal, and that's why they have not been able to let it out. And it's absolutely, it's horrifying to know that the federal government would withhold data, even by subpoena, that could rescue children.
The biggest embarrassment to this country, and it's a big fight for this, because this is the same administration that gave us the Afghanistan withdrawal, is HHS Secretary Becerra, because he knows what you know. And instead of listening to you and trying to act on it, he got rid of you. Also, it's important to know that we have a new administration coming in. RFK Jr. is the one who's been nominated. If he gets nominated, if he gets the confirmation, could he straighten this out?
Brian, absolutely. With Tom Homan as the border czar and Secretary Kennedy, along with Secretary Noem, I absolutely believe, and of course DNI Director Tulsi Gabbard, I absolutely 100% believe that they can fix this problem. The administration has left a mess. It's broken. This program is broken, but it absolutely can be fixed. We simply need to elevate the activity of child trafficking on the NIPIF, and we absolutely must go after traffickers and dismantle trafficking infrastructure. This can be fixed with the new administration.
And we got to find those hundreds of thousands of kids. They're going through hell right now in many cases. Tara Rodas, thanks for speaking up. I appreciate it.
Brian, thank you so much for highlighting the plight of the children.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.